I told him good morning and him say, yes, elder. Hey, what's up guys? So, you might be wondering what I'm talking about. I just, drove out of the house, came here to use the GPS charger, but, one thing just clicked to me while I walked out. I saw a young man and I said, good morning. And him say, yes, elder. And, sometimes we don't want to think about it, but, the whole thing about getting older. Now, I, for one, have been a person which most of my life I've been mainly athletic. I've played football, played cricket, did a little bit of running, more distance running and so on. And in the back of my mind, I kind of still think that I can do some of the things that I used to do. And first and foremost, I was not offended by him saying, yes, elder. I'm just saying that sometimes we are not willing to face reality in terms of us getting older. And if you're hearing some noise, there's some work being done on the roadway right now where I am. I'm at the Brayton Parkway in Portmore. That would be adjacent to the Fontana Pharmacy. And I'm actually on the Total Energies property. But it just got me thinking in terms of getting older. When you're young, and I grew up with my grandparents. So I grew up around older people. And at times you don't think about getting older. It naturally happens, yes, but time just go up like that. So I am almost at my 47th birthday, which comes up in less than a month. And I am gotten very reflective, similarly to my previous video, talking about time and the value of time. And, time is really the master, it's the ultimate thing when you think about it. Not money, but time. Getting older is a virtue, but getting older also comes with a lot of challenges. I can feel the difference in my body in terms of health-wise. The lack of energy at times, in comparison to my days when I used to be running up and down, been doing 5Ks, 10Ks and so on. And if you look at me right now, boy, you wouldn't see that. Got now 1 pack instead of the 6-pack. Anytime I try to walk, much less run, they're pain in the knee, ankles and all over the body. We wake up, basically my wife, the other day had to give me one of this massager that she used it at home. And my entire shoulder was killing me, and that was just from sleeping. So you can imagine, the kind of shock it is to my system, especially when I think about the kind of things that I used to do. But, aside from the complaining, I must be appreciative though, because I've lived to this stage and I must be very thankful and grateful. I've not had any major issues in my life, and hopefully I can continue on and don't have any major issues going forward. But also, I also need to take action. I need to start to eat much better and take exercise more seriously. But getting back to the major point of why this even triggered in my head in terms of what the young man says to me, is that I, for one, even though I know I see the grays and so on, don't consider myself to be an elder. But in fact, I am an elder. And is it that many of us are fooling ourselves in terms of, not having the right mindset, having that mindset that we had 15, 20 years ago, when we should have a much more mature mindset. Almost thinking like me and my sons, we can, yes, I guess we, as a father, I'll be around them, but they don't want me around all the time. As kids, they're probably a little bit embarrassed sometimes. I remember the other day coming from school with my 2 sons, holding the bigger one's hand, and he said, oh, it's okay, Dad. The little one didn't mind because he's just 6. The middle one is 10 years old, he's getting bigger, having discussions with his friends. I also have a son that's going to be 18 this year. And, it just make you think. What are your thoughts? So I'm saying, what I'm saying to say this is that, aging comes with a lot of challenges that we deal with mentally. A lot of things that we have to learn to let go. A lot of the things we were able to do in the past, we have to basically almost come to peace with that. Hey, we won't be able to do that, I won't be able to jump that high. I won't be able to run that fast, or maybe run at all. I won't be able to lift the kind of weight that I used to lift. I may be able to walk, yeah, most of the times without pain. But it's just one of those things that I've been thinking about, getting older, looking at the vulnerabilities that come with age, and realizing how important getting old is, because the kind of knowledge base that we have the older we get isn't something that the younger generation has, and we have a responsibility to guide them in the right way by using those years of experience and giving them positive examples to look forward to. They won't necessarily listen to everything that we say. We have to understand and we have to come to peace with that. But we must guide them as best as possible, because it's our actions that determine the kind of society that we live in, whether we want to accept it or not. It's not the government, it's not the policeman, it's not the pastor. Everybody, they play a smaller part in what happens to the next generation. But the biggest part is really us as parents and grandparents. I guess for me, one of the more difficult things that I have is that, yes, you see all of this gray, but I've been graying from in my teens. So it's not a matter of when I got older. From when I was young, I've been graying. So, in my head, the mindset is always that I'm still in that kind of age group, when in reality, it's not. How do I put it now? Is that many of us don't want to confess that we basically have these kind of thoughts. Hence the reason why I've decided to come out in this space and really have the tough discussions that especially we as men don't want to have, as if we don't think about these things, and if we don't still have those boyhood dreams, and that's not reality now. So currently I am at Price Mart here in Portmore, looking to grab a few things for the home, doing my elderly duty. Yeah, that's corny, I know. But yeah, I'm just saying there are certain things that we are, at least I could say I, so that when I say down the road of we, I have fully not accepted as yet. Especially, getting to that, closer to that 5-0 mark. Let me first say a happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there who are willing to be a good father. Some fathers become fathers by accident. But anyway, let me just get back to my earlier discussion, mainly about, basically me getting older. So ironic that me and my eldest son was at home earlier, and I was playing Creed, in which anybody in their 40s or early 50s, or maybe 30s, would have known about Creed, who came about in the mid-90s. And my son, who is now 17 years old, I'm all of 30 years older than him, was telling me, Dad, I stole his I said, Dad, he said to me, Dad, you stole my playlist. I said, I stole your playlist? I said, this music was being played long before you were born, or even being thought about. And I don't know what to take from that. I don't know what it means. Music basically goes across time. Music is timeless, especially classic music. Well, I say all of that rambling to say that I'm getting old. I always wonder what it is that makes us, the older we get, become some more reflective on life. You know, to realize that all the things that you are in such a hurry to get don't matter as much the older we get. And it's something I can't answer. I don't even know if what I'm saying makes sense or connects to you. But the older I get, the more I'm trying to reach for something, this invisible thing out there. It's not perfection. Family is one of them. More time is one of them because, you know, we're on that other end. We're slowing down. It's really, you get very contemplative the older you get. What should I be doing? Am I doing the right thing? Am I making the right moves? Am I saying the right thing? There's all these questions that come up. Did I waste my entire life? Did all the things that I quote unquote want to achieve and have achieved, were they worth it? I don't know. I have no answers. Just thoughts that go through my head. I don't know if the same thoughts go through your head. I don't know if anything that I'm saying makes sense to you or... but anyway, it's just me here chatting off my head. And I'm sure that you realize that that clip before, you're not seeing my head. One of the problems with old age. My composition was just totally just a while ago. But anyway, that's why that's so funny. I just wanted to come back here to, you know, so you can see that, yeah, I've not gone all that loony, but it was quite funny when I look back at the video a while ago. I realized what I just did. Oh my God.